What's up, dudes and dudes to the internet? My name's Scythe and we are back here for some more Astroneer, the Final Frontier. How y'all doing today, folks? Hope you're doing fantastically wonderful. Hope this video makes your day even better. Before we get started, we very much appreciate if you would hit that like button. Helps me out more than you know. And without further ado, we are going to be going off-world today. Isn't this exciting? We finally get to get off this rock and head to another rock. So I've been getting all of our supplies ready. I've got so many resources on this thing. Like, seriously, I just took like maybe 30-40 minutes just going around the area kind of gathering. We got a whole storage unit of resin, one that's almost full of compound. Put a couple of our smaller solar panels on there. Whoops-a-daisy, the camera always does that for some weird reason. Put a bunch of our lithium here, our ores on the other one. And then we also have the habitat on the front with even more compound. And then I've got even more compound on our person because I figured we're going to use a lot of tethers, even though resin would definitely be the ideal resource. And then all these other things are just hydrazine, which is fuel. So we're not going to end up being stranded or anything like that, which I think we're pretty prepared. Now, there's a couple things that we didn't actually get to experience just yet. More specifically, there is the crane that you can put on vehicles, but we're probably going to have to construct another vehicle once we actually get on the moon anyways. And I'm very curious to see what ends up happening on the other planet. You know, hopefully, I'm assuming it's going to be filled with coal and stuff like that because there is going to be new blueprints from what I hear. And while there is a lot of different planets for us to explore... Oh, this is so cool, man. While there's a lot of planets for us to explore, we're going to just keep it light, keep it simple. We're not going to jump right to the radioactive planet and die. We're going to get to the moon and see if we can explore stuff on there first. So, I didn't get to show this in any videos yet, but this is what the space exploration is kind of like. First, we go into orbit, and then we can click and choose any of these spots are just not spawn points, landing zones, right? So we could just land over here and start a new base here, land over here, start a new base here. So if that's kind of something that takes your fancy, you know, go for it. But for myself personally, I'm already fine with just having one base, and the fact that we're not getting any new blueprints tells me we can say goodbye to this planet. Now, a nice little tip to know where you've actually been. Not only is there little markers for your houses, but you'll notice clouds are always going to show up where you've actually generated on the planet, right? So you can kind of use that as a gauge, and we can see, you know, here's where that beacon was, here's where our home was, and so on and so forth. The other home is actually the one that's in the center of the planet, but otherwise, we're going to press the button to zoom even further out. And now we're actually out in orbit, and we can actually see the ring around our planet, kind of like I actually don't even know the technical term for that, but it's the rotation of the galaxy that we're in right here, right? So we can go to the barren moons. This one's the arid desert planet. And as you can see, this one is actually getting out of our planet's rotation. And once it actually gets out of that rotation, we're not going to be able to fly to it. So we would have to actually wait in real time for it to come back into our rotation. But there's all sorts of other planets. You know, I don't know if this one out here is a water planet. I explored a couple of them. One was actually filled with nature while also still being very toxic. The arid one over here was kind of a desert planet that had like sarlacc pits, big giant worm monsters that were inside the planet. Not like animated and coming to get you, just kind of static enemies, because I don't think there's any moving creatures in this game. But anyways, let's go to the barren moon. It seems that they actually have patched space a little bit though, which is better because what would normally happen is when you zoom the camera out to that second degree and kind of can see all the other planets, that would actually take up a lot of your fuel. So it seems like they ended up changing that and making it so that you can just look at the other planets while not actually doing that. This is a very small planet. There's even only one spot that we can land. Oh my goodness. Now I hear there's a lot of secret Easter eggs on this planet though. I've kind of seen a couple videos hinting at like a secret moon base and stuff like that. So I'm very interested to see. One thing I am noticing right off the hop though, is we got a resource over there, at least near as I can tell. Very barren is right. There's not going to be any organics on this planet, but wind. There seems to be a lot of wind on this planet. So what is this actually? Oh, it's something to research. Okay. Well, that's perfect, isn't it? Let's take a peek and see if we can, we'll put a habitat down here. Probably gonna have to construct a couple other extra habitats, but hey, whatever, that's okay. Why is that thing still rotating? No. Bad planet. No! I want to flatten that terrain out a little bit, and I want to be careful about sandstorms, which we might not end up actually running into. Hopefully anyways. Let's see if we can... I want to kind of flatten this terrain out a little bit more around this area, just because I don't want to deal with, like, you know, running into complications. I think there is a storm coming. I just can't really see it. Is there? It might just be that this planet just gets really bright during the day. I don't know. Because it's very light right now. I'm actually really digging the new environment, though, that's for sure. So we're gonna have to be careful, too, because as I said, don't know what resources, well, I mentioned that in the last episode, don't know what resources we're gonna end up running into on this planet. Because that's the thing, research, that's definitely what we need. One thing that ends up happening from the other planets, from what I heard, is it's gonna have all the same resources, but you're gonna end up being very hard pressed. Like, one area might be like, oh, getting compound is really difficult for a planet, you know, or getting resin might be all over the place. Like right now we can see that wind is a very big factor on this planet, so we can probably get our hands on a bunch of, if we had the aluminum, do we actually have, yeah, okay, let's just do it. Wind is gonna be a big thing rather than using solar panels. So you know, if I knew that, maybe I could have prepared properly, but at the least we should be able to get ourselves some power from the wind turbines, which is gonna be nice. I wanna try and see if I can flatten this whole terrain out, by the way, and just get things a little bit more prepared for us to actually build stuff. No power. Jeez Louise, we're gonna run into a lot of this stuff again as well, aren't we? So we can put some more resin down if we want to build. Yeah, we're gonna definitely do that. Let's plop this sucker down, and let's put some resin on there and get ourselves, I guess, a 3D printer. Yeah, the printer would probably be the next biggest thing that we would need on our list for sure, out of the essentials. Backpack full. Oh, okay. Let's get ourselves a printer, and then I'll put that down there as well, just because. And then let's see if we could flatten this out as well. I gotta try and get, like, it's gonna take us a little while to kind of get things all in order with this new base here. And eventually, you know, as I get more efficient at this, of course, in the series, you know, things will get a little bit better with that. Now, the other thing, too, that's interesting, which I definitely want to end up doing, is let's do something like this. If this would stop blowing around in the wind. But I want to try and get this, this little alcove right here, like this next build structure. I want to try and get it to end up being a little bit higher than the rest. You know what I'm saying? Because if we can get it higher, we're gonna be able to, there's our resin right there. It's gonna be a little bit, well, it's gonna be on higher ground, simply put, so we can end up getting more power from the wind turbine, right? Now, we are already out of resin, which is a little bit disappointing, honestly, to say. We can also restock our ship's fuel right here. Thankfully, the game doesn't seem to, like you see right here, it didn't take extra fuel because it's actually already full. I think we can technically put fuel on all of the ship and stuff like that, and we could actually end up building off of our ship, and then I think you can take off with it. Don't quote me on that, though. I'm not exactly sure on that. We'd have to find out, probably the hard way, but at the least, let's get ourselves some tethers and let's go exploring, because I'm very curious to see what this planet is about here. So we've got some power over here, which is definitely going to end up being very helpful to us right now, because we're kind of at the early game again, right? We need to get as much power as possible, just so that we can kind of have our base in a little bit more order. But the planet itself is definitely barren. They were right about that one. And I guess we should also, if we have enough power, we should actually, now that we have these bad boys, but I want to see if we can research this thing and actually get a new blueprint. That'd be very exciting if we actually could get something new right off the hop. I really want to see whether or not we can. So let's research this. Let's just go for it. Resin, we need resin, but there's none on this planet so far. Ew, fuel, I wanted to get something new, not something old. Well, you know what, we could put that there anyways. And I guess let's just kind of head out and kind of experience this for ourselves, see what this is all about. The thing that would be cool about this planet, I guess, is the fact that it's so small. We can probably end up going all the way around to the other side very, very quickly and easily, you know? There's actually a very strange looking rock formation up there. It might just be a normal rock, but these don't generate on the normal planet. Ooh, is there research under one of these things? Yeah, there is, okay. So I gotta keep that in mind. The rocks are going to end up being research. I'm hoping that we can get ourselves some new blueprints today. That is our all-time goal. That is the biggest thing that I want to end up doing. Okay, so here's a little cave system. Pretty cool that the caves seem to be a little bit different as far as their design is concerned. And then there's a couple mountains and stuff like that. Maybe we'll take a peek inside this cave before we end up heading back to base and trying to research that other thing. Kind of waste all of our tethers here. A little bit disappointing to go under the surface already rather than just kind of exploring, you know, the top part of the planet, because that's kind of where it's at. But it's a very barren planet anyway, so I don't think we have to worry too much about that. I want to get rid of all these, lots of these hostile plants, man alive. So we gotta try and get as many of these out of the way as possible. There's something that we can research. And something that's very strange about this game, just in general, I've noticed, there we go, is when we end up like we just did right there to that other plant, we actually ended up killing it, and oddly enough, as we do that, it's like it kind of explodes and pops like a balloon, and it's actually, even though the plant itself kind of isn't near us, it is actually hurting us. Like the acid that comes off of it, it's kind of almost as if it's automatic, that it just damages us, you know what I mean? Now, one thing that I am noticing is solar panels will actually be very efficient on this planet as well. The wind most definitely, because it just seems to always be windy. Oh, and the gravity's a lot lower too. That's pretty sick, dude. That's sick. I didn't even think about that. But the solar panels will be really good, because I'm noticing as this planet's a lot smaller, it's actually day and night. Like the day-night cycle is very, very quick, isn't it? Like while we were in that cave for like a few minutes there, it actually ended up doing a full day cycle, and now it's nighttime again. So let's see, can we actually get something new here? Can we throw this up here for now too? Yes, we can. Lithium, no, I don't want lithium. I want new things. Come on, I need the research, dude. Okay, well, at the least, we can throw these extra power consumptions right up here. Where did the other one just go? I think the game just deleted it. Oh, no, it threw it on there. Okay, good, good. So at least that thing's fully charged, and we are still exploring out in the world. I'm gonna get ourselves a little bit more of our extra compound here. Probably after today's video, I'll spend a little bit of my own personal time kind of trying to set up the base, get things a little bit more in order. Unfortunately, honestly speaking, I was kind of worried about that, and I think this planet is gonna be very, very short-lived, because there's just not as many resources on this planet, and ultimately speaking, I think because this is so close to the main planet, we're not gonna really run into that much new stuff, honestly, folks. I don't think so anyways. I'm still wondering whether or not we can end up finding new ores. You know, maybe coal will be a lot more common on this planet, but honestly speaking, I'm assuming that coal is gonna be a lot more common on some of the other planets. But I still really, really want to see if we can actually get some new research. Like, seriously, just give me something new. Even if just to, I just want to see if we can even get anything new, you know? Oh man, well, at least we're getting lots of coal out of these nodes. That's not bad anyways. Oh, there's a very close cave right here. Okay, well, I guess we'll check this one out, kind of see what this is all about. Maybe there will be something better down here that we can end up getting. Maybe, I don't know. There's another research node right there. See what I mean? We actually took damage from that plant, despite the fact that we're not even like standing by it. Like it's just a weird mechanic that I don't quite understand. You know what I mean? Okay, so we gotta be careful with the exploration because of that. Ooh, there's some resin. Perfect! So there is resin on this planet. Doesn't seem to be in top supply, honestly speaking. But at least it is around, so that's good. And I am hearing what sounds like a sandstorm, but not really, you know, we'll have to go and see. I don't know if there is any sandstorms on this planet, honestly. There might not be. That could just be kind of like one of the things about this planet is it's so barren that maybe there just isn't any excitement or anything like that, you know what I mean? I'm gonna have to try and construct a better caving system here though, but otherwise for today it might be a little bit of a shorter episode, folks, just because I want to try and research all these things. That's kind of the main thing that I'm going for here. More lithium. We're just getting lots and lots of resources out of these. I mean, I guess it still is good, you know, that we're actually getting resources, but for the most part, I'm honestly a little bit surprised here because of the fact that, you know, none of this is new for us. We already, like, here I went and gathered like all these crazy amounts of supplies, right? And then it's like, oh, we didn't even need supplies because apparently the planet was already just gonna give it to us. Let me see if I can construct a nice little pathway down here, make it a bit of a shortcut so we don't have to worry about taking this way, and then I can also grab a couple of those tethers back, kind of get it a little bit more under control here. But really, I'm surprised how many of these we actually researched. Maybe there's gonna be more exciting things more at the center of the planet though. That could be the case. So there is some resin, which is definitely something that we do want to use because we do want to, you know, get our hands on stuff on the, get our hands on a full base here is what I mean more to say. But yeah, like that's the thing too, is it's like technically speaking, as far as these resources is concerned, we're generating so much power on the main planet that we can just fly all the way back and just continuously kind of grab more resources and then fly right back. You know what I'm saying? Like, that might end up being what I'll end up doing, probably off camera, but we'll see, honestly. We'll see what ends up happening with that. Let's just try, just because of the, I noticed that we're getting a little bit on time here. Let's try and just go as deep as we can into this cave right now. Kind of take a peek at all of the different items and resources. I don't have any compound on hand. Take a peek at the different resources and stuff that's going on around here. And then I'll kind of like get all of them off camera, you know, just to kind of get things a little bit in order. Because that's the thing too, folks, is don't get me wrong, because I very much love this game. Like seriously, I'm having a great time even just doing this. But you know, it is an indie game and it is still in the alpha stages, so I am aware that there might not actually be that much as far as the exploration is concerned. You know, like we probably are going to end up, like I already said, like just kind of to reiterate the same point, is that we're probably not going to be on this planet very long, and if I can actually get most of it kind of done off camera here, we might actually fly to another planet that's a little bit more exciting in the next episode, just because we're so overly prepared as far as our resources are concerned, you know what I mean? But we'll kind of have to see about that. So I want to take a peek, see if we can get any more things to research here. Is there another one there? Ooh! Ouch! You stupid plant! Jeez Louise, I mean, at least there's all this resin around, but let's bury this ugly thing. Or not. I mean, I wanted to bury it, but whatever, that's cool. At least there is a lot of resin underneath the surface, that's for sure. So that's actually really good. Because that's the thing, folks, is I know it kind of seems a little bit pointless to be sitting here concerned about resin, but really, I didn't even notice that plant, like seriously. But really, I've explored some of the other planets off camera, and I know that resin can end up, like, if we end up getting a planet that doesn't have resin, it means that we can't end up building a base or anything like that, right? So what I'm gonna do here, folks, is I'm gonna bring this back. We're gonna research this together on camera. I want to see what this is about. I'm noticing there's lots and lots of these spike plants though. Like this planet technically speaking, as far as the caves are concerned, this is pretty deadly. You know, like, and with it, it's going to be very time consuming for me to kind of lay out a safety path that we can kind of explore. But what I'm going to do is we're going to research this right now. Hopefully we'll get something new, probably not. And then we're going to call it. We're going to call it for today's episode though, folks. And I'm going to get this cave a little bit more in order. And probably try and get a bunch of different research nodes, get things a little bit prepared, and see whether or not there's actually anything worthwhile on this barren, ugly planet. Now, like I said, I know there's actually quite a few secret Easter eggs, and that's kind of the thing too, is I want to see how big this planet actually is. I mean, based on the horizon, this planet probably is not going to be very big, so I might take a couple tethers and just kind of go off in one direction and see if we can actually go all the way around the planet, and maybe I'll kind of do like a grid system to kind of see and try to kind of discover what else we've got on the planet and stuff like that, you know, and just kind of include that in the next episode. And then honestly speaking, we might already be rocketing off. But either way, still very, very exciting, still absolutely love it for sure. One thing that I don't understand is even though we see the wind particles going on, our wind turbine does not seem to be picking it up, which is very, very odd, you know? Maybe I just don't have it in the right placement for it to actually pick it up, but the wind itself is a little bit finicky compared to some of the other resources, so hey, whatever. But anyways, thanks so much for watching, everybody. Very much appreciate it. Don't forget to like, share, favorite, and subscribe for more daily content. Sign on and stay epic, everybody. Believe in yourself.